Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, JDF proving death of private. The Jamaica Defense Force says it is investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of one of its members. Dead is Jamaica National Service Corps Private Leonard McNally, who died at the University Hospital of the West Indies on Wednesday. No further details were shared by the Army. The JDF says it is saddened by McNally's death. The JDF offers its sincere condolences to the family, friends, and the loved ones. Curfews imposed in some St. Mary communities amid ongoing gang conflicts. The police in St. Mary have imposed the curfews in the communities of Enfield in Anota Bay and the Albion Mountain and the Freehill in Puerto Maria. The security measures began at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, January 15, and will run until 6 p.m. on Friday, January 17. The police say the curfews are aimed at curbing ongoing gang conflicts and the violent incidents that have disrupted public safety and the confidence in varied communities. Commanding officer for the St. Mary Police Division, Acting Superintendent Anthony Wallace, says operations that will be carried out during the curfew will be done with full respect for human rights and in accordance with the law. The imposition of these curfews follows increased gang activity, arson, shootings, and the potential reprisals which have heightened the public fear and eroded trust in these areas, said Wallace. Immediate action is necessary to restore order, protect residents, and to prevent a further escalation. Residents are reminded to adhere to the curfew guidelines and to cooperate fully with the authorities. We will maintain a visible presence throughout the duration of the curfews to ensure public safety, Wallace added. The boundaries of the curfew are in Enfield, north along a section of the Altobaril Main Road near the National Water Commission pump site, extending 458 meters east to the Dry River Bridge. East from the Dry River Bridge, extending 6,622 meters south to a section of the Enfield community known as the 41. South from 41 Square, 500 meters west along an imaginary line. West from the end of the imaginary line at 41, extending 7,313 meters north to the starting point of the National Water Commission pump station. Albion Mountain, north at a section of Top Mountain in the vicinity of Albion Mountain Square along an imaginary line which runs approximately 1,675 meters east to a section of the Trinity Land Main Road. East along a section of the Trinity Land Main Road along an imaginary line which runs approximately 1,517 meters south to a Y junction intersection along a section of the Cox Street Main Road. South along Cox Street Main Road at the Y junction intersection, veering left to Roslyn Road and right to Trinity Land Main Road along an imaginary line which runs approximately 1,897 meters west to a section of Roslyn Road. West along a section of Roslyn Road along an imaginary line which runs approximately 1,451 meters north to a section of Top Mountain in the vicinity of the Albion Mountain Square. Freehill, Port Maria. North along a section of Freehill running 1,675 meters east to a section of Trinity Land. East along Trinity Land running 1,517 meters south to a section of Cox Street Main Road. South along Cox Street Main Road running 1,897 meters west to a section of Roslyn Road. West along Roslyn Road running 1,451 meters north to a section. IC slams a chalk for advising MPs to withhold their spouses' information. Retired Justice Seymour Panton, the chairman of the Integrity Commission, has scolded Justice Minister Delroy Chuck for advising his parliamentary colleagues not to comply with a critical provision in the IC Act that requires them to furnish information about their spouse's earnings to the anti-corruption body. In a sharp rebuke of the senior government minister and the lawmaker yesterday, Panton said for Chuck to advise his colleagues to break the law may well be itself an offense. What sort of example is he setting for public officers? Panton questioned, adding that in some countries the justice minister would have been relieved of his ministerial responsibility after such an admission. The IC chairman reminded the country that the IC Act, which was passed by parliamentarians, including the Justice Minister, provides for certain declarations to be made by parliamentarians and the public officers. He said a failure to do so carries the penalties of fines or imprisonment. I am very disappointed that he is confirming a view that he is not serious about good governance. After all, it is not difficult to see that it is very easy to hide income and assets in the names of relatives, Panton argued. I urge all parliamentarians and the public officers to do the right thing. That is, obey the law, he concluded. In the past, Chuck courted controversy when he declared that the Integrity Commission had no integrity. In a terse response to Chuck's latest utterances, founding principal director of National Integrity Action, Professor Trevor Monroe, said unless clarified or wrongly represented, Chuck is advising or inciting MPs to break the law. Section 39 of the IC Act states that, subject to the provisions of this Act, every person who on or after the appointed day is a parliamentarian or public official shall submit to the Director of Information and Complaints a statutory declaration of his assets and liabilities and his income in the form set out in the third schedule. Further, Section 40 of the IC Act states that a statutory declaration shall include such particulars as are known to the declarant of the income, assets and liabilities of the spouse and the children, where applicable, of the declarant. During a meeting of the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee in Gordon House on Tuesday, Chuck raised concerns about requests being made by the IC regarding the salaries of the spouses of some of his colleagues. Why is the Integrity Commission asking members to indicate the salaries of their spouse or sometimes of their children? I don't know if this is something that is appropriate because I have advised the relevant members, let them know your spouse is not prepared to divulge their salary, he said. Chuck also suggested that the Joint Select Committee reviewing the IC law would make it clear what limits can be put in terms of investigations. At the same time, all eyes are on government members on Parliament's Joint Select Committee reviewing the IC Act over what the proposals will be pushed to change the law of the Anti-Corruption Agency, following a private meeting last week, Thursday, hosted by vocal critic Everald Warmington. The meeting also comes amid heightened interest in the Commission ahead of potential leadership changes at the anti-corruption watchdog between February and July. Warmington, a member of the Joint Select Committee and the Member of Parliament for St. Catharines South-Western, has called the IC a rogue body and proposed a series of changes that would reduce the powers of the Anti-Corruption Agency. Although confirming the meeting to the news, Warmington declined to comment on the issues discussed. I don't know what you are talking about. I don't know who you got that from. We had a private discussion and that was that, he told the news on Monday. Any meeting public is when we go to Parliament and the committee meets. He was referring to the Joint Select Committee meeting held on Tuesday. The legislation was passed in 2017 by the Andrew Holness administration. The committee members include Warmington, Committee Chairman and the Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett, Justice Minister Delroy Chuck, Labor and the Social Security Minister Pernell Charles Jr., House Speaker Juliette Holness, Legal and the Constitutional Affairs Minister Marlene Malahoo Ford, and the two persons from the opposition, Finance spokesman Julian Robinson and the Energy spokesman Philip Paulwell. Chuck declined to comment on Monday, saying that we had a private meeting as we do regularly on several matters. Malahoo Ford said she arrived late and left early when asked about outcomes from the meeting. She said it was a general rule for government members of Joint Select Committees to meet from time to time to assess the work being done in the review of bills or acts of Parliament. Suspect in Rockfort mass killing fatally shot by police. A man said to be one of the suspects involved in last October's mass shooting in Rockfort, East Kingston, in which 5 men were killed, was fatally shot during a police operation on Tuesday. He has been identified as 28-year-old Akeem Chance, a resident of Montague Street, Rollington Town. It is reported that a police team was conducting a targeted operation along Montague Street when they confronted the suspect. Chance was fatally shot and a semi-automatic pistol with several rounds seized from him. Investigators say a warrant was issued for the arrest of Chance, who was allegedly one of the shooters in the murder of 5 men in Rockfort on October 21 last year. They reported that Chance was a member of the Montague Street gang and affiliated with the Oliver Road gang based in Rockfort. He was also said to be a close associate of Junior Creary, otherwise called Whopper, the reputed leader of the Oliver Hill gang. Creary, an escapee, has been listed as the prime suspect in the mass killing. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.